What's up, guys, and welcome to another Overwatch replay. This time, it's me, Julien, your host of Overwatch Replay. I'm going to be doing it with this format. I believe that this format works out better for me, but tell us in the comments section below what sort of format we have played around a bit with our formats. Would you like it more edited, or would you like it more laid back like this? I'm going to be using Epic Pen to show you around the Overwatch scene. As you can see, our ratings are right here. My team is slightly behind theirs in rating, and we can go ahead and get started with the match. Of course, Overwatch Replay comes out on this channel every Wednesday at 9 a.m. You can check it out. Yvonne and I, the two hosts of the show, will totally just take you through an Overwatch match and give you some commentary, perhaps some key insights in where we went wrong or where the game went right. This game today on defense, I'm starting as defense in Watchpoint Gibraltar, ends up being quite the clusterfuck. And it's really a good example of how trickling in is the worst thing you can possibly do in this game, because our team is incredibly disorganized, but the other team is more disorganized and they trickle in more. So it shows that if you trickle in, even a team that's disorganized will defeat you. So we start off here, and I like to point out that this is actually a great spot for Torbjorn and Reinhardt to hang out, as they are up here. But you'll see that our Junkrat is going to jump right on down there. So let's talk a little bit about Junkrat. So Junkrat, obviously best when he can lob bombs off that will go down and explode here in this general area, or over in this general area. So if he can lob bombs from where I am down here. He's also best when he can sort of isolate his bombs in an area and sort of force his enemies into the explosion of the bomb. So that's obviously in corners or in right angles, in areas such as, let's go back a little bit, and I'll show you. Maybe I look that way. Maybe I don't. Right. So if he can see his enemy over here, let's say where the Symmetra is, if he was up here and he lobbed a bomb directly down and it exploded here, that would be a great place for Junkrat to hang out. In fact, this is not a bad area, even though he can come out, he can get sniped right away from maybe a Widowmaker coming out of the choke point right there. Could get an easy snipe on Junkrat and he'd be sad right there. But if he hung out close to here, he could get a couple bombs off onto the payload, because people will be coming out this way onto the payload, and then he could then go through this doorway and come back to where I am. I'm Mercy over here, and sort of see what's going on there. But I digress. Junkrat's a mess, and he's totally just hanging out up there. He does, however, I think, back off a little bit. So moving up, this is not a bad placement for Torbjorn's turrets, but if you take a look at Reinhardt, he's set up here. Now, his shield is protecting him, and that's great. He's got 2,000 extra health. But who the hell is behind him? I'm not even behind him. But of course, I'm relatively safe over here. I can float over to Reinhardt if someone bugs me over here coming through the doorway, or I can just back off and go behind me. That's a fairly safe positioning, I think, but I digress again. We're totally we're spread out. We've got 3 people who don't know what they're doing. Let's see what happens. Basically, spoiler alert, I guess Torbjorn hangs out behind Reinhardt, but fucks up and drops down there. So I'm forced to move over here, right? I mean, what does Mercy do if she's not boosting damage? And her bullets are way too slow for me to land any bullets from this far back. I'm hanging out. Actually, Reinhardt's positioned himself all right in this situation, and so is Junkrat. Junkrat hanging out right here behind Reinhardt can now lob grenades onto this. Breaking this is pretty key for us, and I hope we are able to do it. Alright, moving on. Diva over there is dying. I wanted to go save her, but nope, it's not happening. I wasn't over there. That's what happens, guys. If you separate yourself from the healer, you're just gonna die. You're just gonna die. So right here, we're sort of rushing down. We're pushing forward here with Torbjorn and Junkrat, two of the greatest players to do characters to do that with. Torbjorn, I guess, can sort of do it if he's landing headshots with his shotgun, but Junkrat, in such a wide open area there, is not going to really be doing much. So so you can see what I'm doing here. You can see I see Reinhardt. He's half health, and I have 2 people dead on this side. I have 2 people dead over here. Junkrat probably launching some grenades through here that are going to bounce here and maybe land here. But Reinhardt gets dashed. I'm trying to heal him as much as possible, but doesn't seem like that's going to work out. He gets killed, as you can see. Sad boy Reinhardt. And I'm over here thinking, well, Diva's over there. Junkrat is dead to me. Diva's right here. She just spawned, and Junkrat is behind the enemy and probably going to die soon. So I'm thinking, well, my best option is probably just to go up here and try to come over here and go down the stairs to safety. Maybe by Diva. That would be great for me. So that is what I do. Luckily, no one destroyed my life. Actually, Diva comes up here to save me, so I'm positioning myself behind her. Your Mercy should never really be in the middle of the battle, nor should your Lucio or Zenyatta. Not in the front line. Mercy, Lucio, and Ana even, and Zenyatta. Stay behind the tanks at the very least. So, I'm boosting her damage, even though Diva doesn't really do that much damage from up there. Here is actually a pretty good spot for her. This is a pretty good, actually good indicator of how much damage she can do. So we can see that she can do pretty solid damage from this range, on the McCree as well. It's like not a bad look for her. She can do a lot of damage to Reinhardt, who could dash her and finish the dash over here. And McCree's not even looking at her. So McCree could go down pretty easily. Then she could probably get her dash back and come back up to me. I actually end up falling down there, and, well, things go to hell. So, I'm damage boosting Diva because gotta damage boost Diva. And Reinhardt tries to do his dash, but we're all the way over here. So, or right here. And then I realized that Diva's is to my left. Not a good look. Luckily, I totally get the fuck out of there, and I'm moving back this way because I know that we should not really be engaging at all. It's not a good idea. So Diva, I've left her, and I died to Reaper, who was right behind me and on the payload. Well, because he dropped down. He was probably looking for us. So we move a little bit forward. Actually, our Symmetra did something and put up a probably the only reason, sorry, screen tearing, probably the only reason why we could hold them off for so long was because we had that teleporter. Honestly, this game was a fucking mess. All right, keep going. So I'm just hanging out behind this Reinhardt who's being fairly aggressive, I'd say. I look over here. Junkrat is an easy heal for me, so I move over and I get him healed, and then I hear that go off. So my obviously it's over here. Diva's probably gonna take a lot of damage here, but my first reaction is, boy, I better get to cover. I have my res, so I can res it if I need to, but only one person goes down, luckily, and yeah, that's it. So I see Diva, I need to heal her, and good heals, and basically, look at our team. I mean, but look at our team. We've got Reinhardt behind the point. They obviously spawn back here, and I think even back here a little bit. We have Diva over here, and basically, this is at the beginning of the point after this checkpoint right here. They have this much room to move it. we could move back. We can move back, take the high ground, and, you know, set up a solid defense. But that is not what we do. Instead, we're all up in their face, and I don't think that was such a smart play, IMHO, because, well, look at that. They can just wipe us like this. Luckily, enemy Reinhardt doesn't dash until that. We see him go through, and he goes this way. And he actually remains there for quite some time because no one on our team wanted to pay attention to that. Junkrat's firing some things off, but he's not really doing much. And he hangs out. The Reinhardt's just all up in our face, but no one's doing any damage to him. Mercy can do some damage, but I'd rather just hang out back there. Basically, we'll go back. We'll watch that a little bit. I see Torbjorn over here, and I see that I am getting hit. You can see here by, I believe, the Reaper at way too far range because, well, I've lost a sizable chunk of my health, so I need to fly to Torbjorn there, who's gonna save my life in turn for me saving him. And look at me, I'm backing up. I'm backing up here where we can defend the points. We can defend ourselves too. It's not what our team is doing. We're actually trickling in as well. Reinhardt coming back there. D.Va after me. So what do? I position myself behind Torbjorn. So if you're healing someone, right now I'm not there. So if you're healing someone, let's say this is D.Va, this big blob shooting you with her sweet guns. And this is Mercy. She's going to be the X. And if you're in between the person that you want to heal, this is Torbjorn. He's just also a blob. He should probably be a smaller blob. He should be a much smaller blob. He's about this big, right? Mercy towers over him. If D.Va's shooting me with her gun, it does that sort of crap. I want to position myself behind Torbjorn, like that. Then Torbjorn can do damage to D.Va, and D.Va can be bothered by that and then fly off that way. So that's the general plan. That was a sweet picture, and I know you guys understood exactly what I was saying. So what do? I actually position myself in here because I need some healing, and there you go. I see. Oh, this is a great play. Okay, so, well, it's an alright play. I basically I get some health. Yes, this is great. Reinhardt literally, let's watch him. Let's watch this Reinhardt. What is he doing? Maybe D.Va's back there. Maybe that's what he was swinging at. I go get the health. He's just swinging. Why is this guy just swinging? I don't know. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Yeah, so Reinhardt comes in, and I'm feeling like this is just the inner Mercy within me. I'm feeling like they probably have some ults, or they're getting pissed off because we've held them here for God knows how long, about 3 minutes, right? So they're getting frustrated. So they're going to come in, use some ults, and try to clear us. Or that's just what my intuition. So, wouldn't you know it, I guess Reaper's probably somewhere up here on this platform, and he's ready to drop down and lay it on us and use his ult. Going that way, going this way, going every which way. So, luckily, I hang back. That's what Mercy does. When Mercy has her res, you just hang back. I have, I don't know who that is. I think it's Soldier. No, it's Torbjorn, sorry. And it's getting fucked up here. And basically, I get a 2-person res. I negate the ult, and I go back to healing. So let's move it along here. I'm healing a bunch, and we basically that's an example, right? It was just Reaper using his ult by himself. No one else followed up with that. And, makes you frustrated. Well, it would make me frustrated if I was on that team. And then, of course, this is textbook example of pushing up way too far. But, we just back it up a little bit wisely. Reinhardt just backs up enough, and he actually didn't take any damage, as far as I know. I'm damage boosting Junkrat. He's just standing still. Luckily, this is 2100 SR, so it's not that big a deal. Junkrat can just stand still on the payload and have no consequences whatsoever. This is a ridiculous game, and I can just walk around and all this crap. I thought that D.Va was going to use her ult, so I was just backing up behind the pillar, although she's hanging out to the left now that I see it. On this third time watching this video. Yeah, and Reinhardt's just standing on the point. I already have armor, thanks to Torbjorn. Torbjorn's actually providing us with armor, which is really nice. Reinhardt, they're basically... Look, you can see they're coming in one at a time, from here. So Reinhardt has no obligation to stay back. He doesn't have to protect anyone. He can just push them off because they're coming on one at a time. There's an old fighting games saying where basically I'm gonna keep doing the same move over and over again, you know, until you prove that I shouldn't be, because it's working, you know. So Reinhardt there, he died. Thank God, finally, right? But basically, if you keep doing the same thing, trickling in and expecting to somehow get lucky, I mean, 1 out of 10 times, 1 out of 30 times probably, you're gonna win the game, right? So that's only because of the other team's incompetency. So luckily, you know, their team hopefully learned a lesson from this, right? Maybe they'll watch this video. Basically, they get a res there. I was hanging back because I heard Reinhardt's ult go off, so I thought maybe some coordination was going to happen. Luckily, nothing happened there for your view and pleasure. And basically, Reinhardt's dying over there, so that's the second time he did that and died in that position, so I hope he learned his lesson there. Junkrat just staying still. What if they had a Widowmaker? What if, let's go back, right? What if, so Junkrat just staying still on the point, bad idea. What if there was a Widowmaker who popped out for maybe 5 seconds, right? That is a easy target right there on his head. You know, you just don't want to stand still in this game for very long. I'm just pointing things out. Or a Hanzo. Hanzo could have done the same job. I was trying to get that res there. Right now, I'm feeling like, you know, we've held them literally here for way too long. I want to just use my res and get it over with. But of course, we have to wait out another minute and a half here. I'm healing Pig Lollipop. That is a weird name. I don't know what's going on here. Basically, a lot of shit goes on. But yeah, right. So this is where playing with a headphone comes in. You know, I heard 3 ults in a row, right? I heard the Reaper ult, I rezzed it. I heard the High Noon, I got to cover, and I was gonna try to res it. I think that's what that's exactly what I do right now. Yeah, it was one. I thought there would have been more people over there dead, but that was actually a poor res because, well, look at the situation now. So this is why you don't want to. Res prematurely, right? I guess. You want to wait for an ult to end, but you want to give it, I feel like you give it 2 seconds after the ult, because, if you can, because, not that the McCree ult did this, but look, there was another ult. Sometimes people stagger their ults, so you want to wait for the second ult, because let's say you have a High Noon, wipes the team, right? But then Reaper comes in because he thought there was still some people in, and he launches his ult. So if that's the case, and Mercy comes in for the res in between one of those 2 ults, then her res was pointless. So you just gotta think. You have to have a situational awareness when you use your ult, and I always try to give it at least a second after I hear an ult go off to try to res. So, because now I already have my ult again. Right here, I was trying to build it up. I saw 2 people down, and I tried to get in the middle of them, but I could only get D.Va, who actually then goes down. So that's a prime example. Right here, D.Va's already down. Of why you want to be careful when you use your ults, because it could be for nothing. Obviously, there's a Bastion there, and that was a good switch on their part, I suppose. Somehow we got there, because we're not really paying attention much. Basically, we move forward a little bit. Sorry this is going on. It'll be a longer episode, so tell us in the comment section below if you want to see longer episodes or shorter episodes. Right here would have been nice if I had my res, right? So I actually was pretty convinced we weren't gonna win the point, because, I mean, they pretty much wiped our team. But luckily, actually, they wiped half our team. But funnily enough, we make it to here, and we hold the point here. One of our teammates switched to Orisa. I keep the team alive. Orisa, whatever you want to call her, pretty much lays down the law. And where's the team? They were already in overtime, and we can move forward to the next round. Basically, this is not the team we go in with, I believe. I think we get the Orisa back. Sorry. I want to take a look at the team again. So this is the team, right? So never mind. The Orisa switches back to Diva, and we have Genji, Lucio, and Reinhardt. So Lucio. So I would like to see a Zarya switch for the Diva. That would have been great because she could protect Genji, which is going to be the crux of the team. Lucio is solid on most teams, but with Genji and Pharah, the two damage dealers on the team, aren't really going to take advantage of Lucio's speed boost. So just something to keep in mind. Lucio needs to be able to access them in field of view before he takes any effect. So, right, okay, that's where the Orisa comes from. We take the triple tank and we get an Orisa instead of Lucio. So let's move forward. So I think he thought that, maybe he or she thought that. I'm hanging out with Genji and Pharah. I want to take advantage of Pharmacy. Actually, he switched back to Lucio. I just saw it. Never mind. Doesn't really matter. This is not a bad spot to be in, I think. Mercy following Pharah, giving her damage boost. That's what I'm doing here. I'm damage boosting her, even though she might die in the process, but she actually ends up picking up that kill and the sweet teabag. Very good job. Over here, we run into some trouble. There's a Reinhardt and a Bastion. I wanted to get to the Pharah, who actually went up this way. I wanted to fly to her, but I couldn't, and then I saw that Genji... Whoops. I saw that Genji is almost dead, so I healed him, and I saw the Reinhardt dash in. Luckily, I dodged it. So the first thing you should work on with Mercy is, well, one, knowing where all your teammates are. I did not know that someone would be over by these stairs, but it's just a common place for your team to rush. So I looked there. You have to get used to, as soon as you start taking damage, looking around to see where you can fly to get out of the situation. So that's why I looked that way, and that's why I got to Lucio and back to safety. Here, Reinhardt's taking a lot of damage, so I'm healing him, and then Diva tells me she needs healing. So, if you need healing, this was great what Diva did. It's fine to say you need healing, whatever. But if you're in a position where you can't be healed, your job should be to get to the healer, because you need to do that. So Diva walked right in front of me. I heal her up. I get a huge ult charge, and right here, Bastion drops down. So this was a great move by the Bastion in an attempt to get behind us and just lay down his turret. There's not much I could have done in that situation. It feels bad, man. Yeah, basically drops down, kills me. Actually, good target priority there. And then he can just unload on the rest of them. But I believe the Reinhardt right there, yeah, he definitely showed Bastion who's who and dashed him right there. And Diva's just pretty much doing no damage from that range, but whatever. Yep, our goal is to get the payload across the finish line. Thank you, Diva. So, here we still have Lucio. He's hanging out in the back, good placement. I wanted to res the Pharah because, I mean, it doesn't look like... Again, I mean, you can see I was just hanging out in the back. We were moving the payload pretty consistently. It means their team is just trickling in and doing nothing. So they're coming in one at a time, right? We have just Orisa right here by herself. By herself. I mean, not by herself anymore. She was out there by herself for a good 3 seconds or something like that. Granted, Orisa can do that because she has a lot of armor, but man. And then well, that was a horrible move on my part. Let's highlight that. I've been talking a lot of shit. So I see Reinhardt in there. I'm like, oh, that my first instinct was to heal him. Big mistake. You should assess the situation. Don't dive into 4 people. That's a Reinhardt, Soldier. I believe this is Ana. Oh, no, this is Mercy, and this is Orisa, I think. Well, instant death for me, and that's that, right? All right. So we lost Reinhardt and healer. Not a good look for us, but we do make it across the checkpoint line, and now we're just moving forward here. Hello. Right, so there's a res there, but I saw she went down pretty quickly. I didn't want to have to deal with that, so I held off. Also, I knew we had to move the payload, and wouldn't you know, I would have died to it. So I would have made it over there, res, and then we would have died again. So that's where you have to show restraint, as it were. I can res this. I wanted to get 2, but I couldn't, so I didn't. Basically, I wanted to save it for a team fight worth fighting. So Mercy is really great. In this situation, what do we have here? Right? We have, this is Mercy, this is Symmetra. They're not paying attention to me. I can take this out, right? I wanted to heal this guy and the guy behind me. Not really useful in this situation. We can just wait, group up, send in an ult or 2. They can all send in their ults, waste all the resources, and then I can completely neglect it. That's the power of Mercy. Don't lose sight of that. Her ult is probably one of the best things in the game. Right there, you can see I'm healing D.Va here to keep her alive. And then I see Reinhardt is critical over there. So I see that it's because it's just Reinhardt here. I'm going to go heal him. If it's Reinhardt v Reinhardt and one of the Reinhardts has Mercy healing him or her, the Reinhardt with the Mercy is definitely going to win. That was a good flank by D.Va up there onto the Bastion. Really helped out. Right now we're getting super aggressive, but that was actually probably the best ult of the game, I think. Right now, let's look at the situation. They're all being boosted by Orisa, and they have the shield in front of them. And Reinhardt just goes in and starts swinging his hammer. He should be getting torn apart. But Lucio's ult signifies our move forward, and I'm trying to heal Reinhardt here. Of course I heal enough. Duh. But actually not, because, well, he backs up and he uses his his shield, and Lucio ends up healing him as well. Basically, we end up clearing the team, so that's that. Hope you guys like this format. I think it's a little more laid back. And tell me in the comment section below. Tell us in the comment section below if you like this format better or worse. Maybe you like the more highly edited and precise editing that Yvonne and I have done in the past. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked this episode of Overwatch Replay. Tell us if you do or not. And I'll just play the game with you guys in full screen. Should be fun. I believe the play of the game is epic, of course. Let's watch it. Here it is. It's Genjo rocking the sick new Uprising skin. He jumps around, uses his ult behind Orisa, dashes in, gets 1, 2, 3. No, 3! 3 kills, and even finishes off the enemy Mercy, which I think was me. No, that Genji was on his team. Awesome. That was a really cool play. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Catch you guys next week. Peace out.